So I'm sitting here, maybe I should say I'm zooming here with staff of Kids and Art Foundation right before we go in and do our weekly amazing virtual art workshop. I have a few questions for each one of you. This would really help us as we embark on our Giving Tuesday Now campaign, which is to be launched on May 5th, Tuesday. So if you could each just tell us your names and what you do at Kids and Art.
So I'll go first. I'm Suzanne Yao, and I'm the Executive Director of Kids and Art.
Yeah. Hi, Suzanne.
I'm Caroline, and I'm Program Manager with Kids and Art.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi.
And I'm Rachel, and I'm the other Program Manager with Kids and Art.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
So maybe first question goes to you, Caroline. How have you managed to bring the same care and planning to our amazing virtual art workshops as, with all our regular workshops?
Well, we're delighted to be able to continue bringing art to the families. And, we've obviously made some adjustments. We don't have the volunteers with us. So we have one lead artist and an assistant. And that way, the families can follow any directions that are needed, and it's just some extra guidance. And we take time to plan the projects, and we want to be able to have art materials that are around the home. And we take that into consideration. And we also add a little story or some art history, or maybe even story about lions or how to draw animals' eyes. So we just adapt that way and bring something extra maybe as well.
Thank you. Rachel, can you describe what a typical amazing virtual workshop looks like?
Absolutely. So we start by welcoming everybody in and being sure that we can see and hear everybody, because this technology is, for most of us, still on the new side, although I suspect if it goes on much longer, we'll all become experts. And we are sure that everybody has their materials, because a few days before each virtual lesson, we send out a flyer that has all the materials you'll need. And then the lead artist starts with, as Caroline said, a story or a description of what the project will be. And we just go through step by step. And usually these projects have about 3 or 4 components to them. And so we'll do the first component and we'll pause, and the children will work on their pieces, and the assistant will turn her computer so the children can see what she's working on at the same time. And then the children will actually hold up their art as they're working. They might ask questions about which color would look best here, or should they be cutting this piece like this? And it's actually a nice format, because what's happened is that the children are starting to talk to each other and to say, oh, wow, that's really cool. How did you do that? Last lesson, one girl showed everybody how she crinkled the paper and did an accordion fold. And it was just this amazing extra piece to what the lead artist had already created. So that was really fun to see that. And then what happened at the end of that lesson was another child showed his piece of art that he had made over the weekend. And that inspired some of the other children to show things they've been working on. So really what ends up happening is these kids are part of this community of artists who are all united, obviously, because they're either survivors or siblings or current patients of pediatric cancer. And, we've been talking a lot about how for these kinds of families, being in isolation is not new, because unfortunately, when you're going through cancer treatment, you can't go out and hang out with your friends. And you have to be very careful about people who come into the house. And so for these kinds of families, this isn't new. But the problem is they've already done it for so many years, to then have to do it again is really not so fun. So what we try to do for part of our workshop is give them the opportunity to be part of a community of kids that they can reach out to and just touch base. So that's, I think, one of the most special things about doing these virtual lessons is they get to be part of this family.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Suzanne. So with COVID-19 and, so many needs out there, Kids and Art is not sort of like the first responder that would come to anybody's mind, but still it's a nonprofit, and we are changing on the fly and bringing services. So what are your three most important needs right now, and why and how can people support you?
No, absolutely. It's very strange and unprecedented times for everyone. And I think, like most nonprofits, our plans for fundraising this year is going to look very different, and it's very unpredictable. And so for us, we want to connect and still stay in touch and be there for their families right now as we're all going through this. And in order to do that, like you said, we're adapting our programs and we're providing these, workshops every week. But we need to have funds to continue to do that and to even grow. I think one of the great things that has been happening as our workshops has continued is we're now reaching out because of the virtual aspect of it. We're able to actually connect, and we have hospitals out of the Bay Area. Bay Area is our local families that we serve, but now we have families that can come from out of states and join our workshops. So that's a really exciting new aspect for us. And so we want to continue to grow as needed. So as more people know about us, we want to be able to expand. But again, we need to have a plan for how we're going to raise the funds to continue to do that. My team, these amazing program managers that were just speaking, they are like adapting and creating new things to make it available for our families. So certainly, supporting with fundraising, this Giving Tuesday campaign that we're doing and ongoing, so that we can provide these services to as many families as possible. I think what I would love also for people to help with is spread the word. We want to be there for as many families that can benefit from the service. So pediatric oncology families, other young adults or children touched by cancer. So if they have a parent or a caregiver or somebody in their family that's going through cancer, our workshops are meant for all these families. So help us spread the word, connect to other families, connect to other hospitals. So, if you have contacts at different hospitals or organizations that work with oncology, please do let us know. And we would love to share and have more participants, because we're really willing to even grow our workshops from once a week to twice a week or more if that's necessary. And yeah, I think there are lots of different opportunities right now for different types of grants. And so I think certainly if there are people out there who have knowledge or expertise or know of like different, your company might have like a fund or some kind of opportunity right now that's coming up to support small nonprofits, please, of course, inform us. And we really want to utilize those opportunities to continue to do the great work that we're doing. So
It's awesome. Well, thank you, three of you. I know it's time for our workshop. Let's hope for a successful Giving Tuesday.
hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.